Hello friends, thanks for joining us today for this week's media demonstration video. I'm going to show you how to use oil pastel and a black colored pencil to finish this baby penguin drawing. So as always guys, you've probably seen these before, but I'm going to show you different tips and techniques for making this look as good as possible. Today I'm going to be using the Crayola oil pastels. And so they're really great. You can see they don't have to be in perfect condition, but when you store them like this and you store them inside the box, they pretty much stay in pretty good condition. So even though they're not perfect, they last until they disappear, which is nice because they're sort of a low waste or zero waste, because you can use them until they're gone and you can recycle the paper wrappers and the paper box. So that's pretty cool. Also, the black colored pencil I recommend is by Prismacolor. It has a really nice dark line and it's going to be helpful for making all of your Sharpie lines stand out again. You never want to use Sharpie on top of oil pastel because it will really hurt your Sharpie. So don't ever use Sharpie and oil pastel together. If you need to add something to your drawing, add it with Sharpie on the plain paper, but then afterwards, if you need to do something, add it with this black pencil. You're going to need a manual pencil sharpener for this, guys, and you can see that this little tray catches the shavings. So a manual pencil sharpener is great because it helps you sharpen your pencil, but at the same time it's not hurting your electric pencil sharpener. Those are designed for regular pencils. Also guys, I just have an extra thing here today I want to show you. I've got this lid just to keep the this wipe from getting my paper wet or anything like that. This wipe I'm going to use to clean my fingers off in between colors. I'm going to keep it right there just so it's handy. Lastly, guys, I say this every time and I've been mailing these out, so I'm thinking you guys are starting to help me out here and listen. Please share this video with your friends and find a way to let me know that you have shared it, whether you tell me in class or whether you, your family shares it on Facebook or you email a link to a friend or whatever it takes, guys. Please help me out. I want to mail you one of these magnets as a thank you. I'll write a personal note and I'll send you one so you can put this on your refrigerator at home. All right, guys, so for today, we're going to be using oil pastel on our baby penguin. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to get my black pencil ready. I've sharpened it, so it's ready to roll. And I've got my wet wipe here to clean my fingers off in between colors. So baby penguins are gray and fuzzy, so I am going to start today with this gray. I just wanted to get it out and show you. The gray is different from the silver, so don't confuse the two. Make sure you're using the gray for this. The silver is cool, but it doesn't really blend with things, so you want to use the gray. I'm also going to do some shading today with a little bit of black, so I've got my black oil pastel here. I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to do a little bit of shading with orange and different colors, but I'm going to start with the penguin's body. So this part of the face stays white, but this part is the super cute gray fuzzy part. So here's my moon, that's my light source. So I'm going to put a little bit of shading, and you can see how lightly I'm doing this. I'm going to put a little bit of shading just on the side that's opposite from the moon, okay? So I am not pressing hard, guys. This is important. I am not pressing hard at all. Furthermore, I am also trying to keep my marks on the paper going sort of in the direction of this animal's body. So I'm not going back and forth and up and down and all around. I'm going kind of gently up and down. And I'm going to just do a little bit more of that, and then I'm going to stop there. I'm going to add just a touch, a little bit. A titch means a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit right there and set that back in there. So now I'm going to take my gray and I am now going to go over top of this black. And so as you can see, I'm not pressing really hard today, but I'm letting the gray mix with the black. And it's easier to see once my hand is out of the way, but I'm just going to have to do this in order to show you. So I am going right over the black. I'm doing it in the same way. If you haven't noticed yet, guys, I'm doing this in the same direction, and that way it looks like it's part of his body. Now these kind of curve a little bit to that side. These are going to curve a little bit to that side. And this is going to help us give the impression that our baby penguin is rounded and not totally flat. The paper is flat, but when you make it, the markings on your paper, whether it's with a Sharpie or with whatever you're coloring with, when you make those marks look kind of rounded, it gives it something that's called volume, and that makes it look more like three-dimensional. All right, so that's looking pretty good already. I would not call that done just because it's not really mixed together. I'm going to take this white oil pastel and it's really quite dirty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a spare piece of paper. This is scrap paper, and I'm just going to rub my white oil pastel on the scrap paper. And what that does, you can see all the stuff that's coming off of there. It used to be, that's definitely not white, but this will clean it off. It doesn't have to be perfectly clean, but you can see how much it did do the work there for me. So I'm going to take this white now, and I'm going to press a little harder this time, but I'm going to go right over all of the oil pastel I've already added. Now this, I am pressing a little bit harder because what I want this to do is mix the oil pastel for me. So this pressure I'm applying, sometimes it's easier if you stand up, especially if you're a younger person. You'll have more strength if you stand up and you can bear down. So I want to just show you how this looks. Looks pretty cool. So I'm mixing and I'm pushing down, and that really looks fuzzy. I mean, it's really cool how that works. Now guys, I have a little oil pastel on my fingers. I'm going to clean it off on my wipe, but I don't want this wipe to get my paper wet, so I'm going to put it back on its little plastic tray there, and that's a good place to keep it safe. So this is looking super fuzzy, right? And I just love that because that's what a baby penguin is. They're super fuzzy. I just want to show you with this pencil, whoops, how this looks. So this pencil is used to kind of bring those lines out again, and it shows you really clearly on the line between the wing and the body. So I am not done with this, obviously. I'm going to do the rest of this in time lapse. I just wanted to show you on the body, because that's a very important part of a baby penguin. Try to brush all these crumbs off, guys. There we go. It just looks really, really fuzzy and soft and really nice. So I'm going to do similar things with shading on the other parts of this drawing. I'm going to use, like for example, on the feet, I'm going to use orange, but I want to use different shades of orange. So I'm going to mix it up like this to get different shades. I'm going to do the same thing on his little beak. I'm going to figure out something cool for his hat and his scarf. But all in all, guys, you're thinking about mixing and blending the colors. You're thinking about shading, right? Those are things that you can accomplish with oil pastel. All right, guys, we're going to get started. If you're ready, here we go. Guys, so that was pretty cool. I hope you like the way this turned out. I really like it a lot. So oil pastel is a great choice for this type of lesson because you can make it look very soft and fuzzy like we did on the baby penguin's body. You can also make it look very cold and kind of hazy, and that's what I was going for in the background. Even though snow is white, you know, ice is not always just pure white, but often what we're doing is we're getting a lot of light and shadow on the snow and the ice and the water and all of those things. And so I just wanted you to see that I use different shades of blue, like midnight blue, light blue, medium blue. I use seafoam green. I use lots of white, things like that. I use those in combinations to create the whole background. I started out with a little bit of a darker blue, the midnight blue in the very bottom along the horizon line. And then eventually I did medium blue and then light blue and then even this seafoam green. And then I think you saw that I did this white on top of everything. And so the white on top of everything gives it that sort of frosty kind of glow to it, the kind of thing you might think of seeing in Antarctica. So keep those things in mind. Of course, you can use any colors you want. Baby penguins' feet, for example, aren't really bright orange. They're actually black and gray. But I wanted to show you that it's kind of cool. As an artist, you can make those decisions. So my baby penguin's feet and beak are similar, and it makes it kind of look cool and stand out. And the yellows are picked up in the moon and the stars. Same, I put a little yellow in these things. So it just kind of leads your eye through the drawing, keeps you going, so you think of it at all and just kind of think, well, that's pretty cool. Last thing, I did use yellow on the moon and the stars, but again, I put white on there. And so, as you can see, I spent quite a bit of time cleaning my white oil pastel, and that's what happens, guys. It's okay. Clean it off. Do whatever you need to do so that it's ready for you and you're ready for it. So, that's it for today, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. I'll see you next time.